So welcome everyone. My name is Helena. I'm a community manager here at Miro. I'm really excited to do another event with Saeed Sadouk. I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. Saeed is an extremely creative person in so many ways. He creates amazing games, art, and so many other things in Miro, and not only. And Saeed, you must have seen him in numerous events at Miro, but also Saeed runs his own events, which is super exciting. And and he's just an overall amazing, very creative and impressive guy who calls himself Facilitator, which I love. It's a mix of facilitator and entertainer. Love it. Anyway, Saeed, please take it away.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Helena. I couldn't have done it any better. Nothing to add there. Yeah, I hope we will have a lot of fun today. What we will do today is I will at least try to show you some basic ways to create games, basically board games on a Miro board. So the only things we will use are elements and features of Miro. So you don't need any graphics program or any other tool outside of Miro, which is very convenient, and also it's very easy to create. You will see in a minute, and it's I would say you can create it very fast. So I hope in the next 55 minutes or so we will create 3+ games. I've prepared some, and I will switch to the board. I can see 30+ people, which is totally fine. I just want to start with a little exercise. Hopefully you all have used Miro in some way. Otherwise, we will find out in a second. I would like you to rate your experience in Miro on a scale from 0, as you can see, to 5. Could be in years, so like 0 years, just new to it, and you are just curious. That's why you attended the today's event, or up to 5+ years, which would be on the right side. And I will show you how we'll do it. We'll do it in a chaotic way. You have the reactions on the top. As you can, I hope you can see my mouse clicking. You have the reactions on the top right in Miro, and there you have the same icons for the reactions as I put on the board. And I would do something. I would just do it in a very chaotic way, and I will countdown from 3 to 0, and I want everybody to press their reaction when I arrive at 0. So let's just try it out. It's 3, 2, 1, click. Okay, let me see. I saw a few thumbs, which means we have some newbies. A lot in the middle. Okay. Okay, no. I saw some confetti, but I can't see who it was. So we have some pros who used Miro when it was called real-time board. I think 5 years is the pre-Miro era. Okay, great. Then why not just start with this? Because this is kind of a gamified way to do a voting, or to a rating like we did, or to use it as a buzzer. So use it as a buzzer in any kind of game. Whoever buzzers first gets the point or can answer the question. I will show you how I created it. Everything you see on the board is just prepared, but I will show you how I created it. And for you, I created a lot of frames outside. I want you to pick one and add a sticky note with your name. Just select one of the 72 boards, I guess there are, and add a sticky note with your name to it, so we know who occupied which of the boards, and the fire does not start. This is a lot of reactions. It's just like in school, nobody's in the front row. And as I mentioned before, please, if there's any questions or anything else, just let us know in the chat. And hopefully Helena will take care of it, or I will. Okay, I can see a lot of
I'm
sticky
taking care of
notes. Great. So you have multiple tiles just like I have, so that we can create our games in the multiple tiles. And as I promised, I will just show you how I created this one. It's very easy. Hopefully you will learn some new features you didn't know about Miro before. So what did I do? Where do I get these images from? How do I make them round? How do I add the numbers to them? How do I align them like I did? If you want to come back to me or just watch on the screen, what I did is I opened the reactions like this. And give me a second. And then I took a screenshot. I just took a screenshot of the reactions like this and pasted them somewhere in the board. You can. I'm a Windows user, so every Apple user, please forgive me. It's Windows key Shift and S to start the screenshot mode. I think there is something similar on Mac also. And just add it to your tile if you like to follow along, and I will make it a little bit bigger like this. And the next thing I do to create this this little tool is when I double click on it, you can see a little menu opening at the top. I will deactivate the cursors for a second. You can see a little menu called mask opening at the top, and there you can choose, in this example, a circle, or you could choose any shape you like that's in the menu. It doesn't really matter. And then I can grab the whole thing and then center the icon I'm looking for like this. Okay, and now I have the first one. And then here at the top, there is also a border. So I can add a border to the image I just cut out in a circle, and the colors won't make any sense, but it doesn't matter. It's just for the demonstration. I can add some thickness to it like this, and that's the basics. So I've created the first one, and now what I do is I will hold the Alt key on Windows, of course, and just drag and drop it, or copy and paste it. It doesn't matter. Now I have two thumbs, but it doesn't matter, because when I double click on it, you can see in the background the whole thing is still there. So I can just move it by one. And now I have the second icon. And I will repeat it and move it. And then I will repeat it and move it like this. And then I will repeat it and move it again. And then I will do the same for the sixth one. Oops, like this. Okay. Of course, you can make the image smaller or bigger, depends on what you're trying to create in this way. It doesn't have to be the reactions. You can choose any image you like. And of course, you can change. If you click on them, you can have the menu for the border, which you can change to any color you like to make them look a little bit different if you like. Something like this probably. And now we have 6 different reactions. And if I select them all, here is the Smart Align feature, which is very cool for people like me who like to have everything aligned with the same margin and stuff. I can just grab it and then align it perfectly. You can see it's horizontally perfectly aligned, and also the spaces between the images or the icons are also perfectly aligned. And if you like to, you can just add another shape. You find the shapes on the left, or you just click S, which is the shortcut. And then I will add not a circle one, not a square one for no reason. And I have the menu with the colors on the top. We'll change it to something I like, and then I will add. It doesn't have to be numbers. It can be ABC. It can be your favorite, I don't know, cars, or your favorite animals, or whatever you might want to find out from your audience. And then we have the regular, where is it? Let's make it a little bit bigger, change the font, change the color. And if you want to, you can group it and just repeat the same steps. You can also just copy and paste or duplicate and edit whatever is inside. and I haven't learned anything new to a scale to 5. We will do the same exercise again and choose your reaction on the count of 3, 3, 2, 1, and okay. Great. Okay, these are only basic features. So nothing that's hidden or nothing that's a secret. It's just using the menus and the features of Miro. Okay, you can resize it if it's too big. Just make it somehow smaller, for example, and push it somewhere in a corner. I will move on to the next game, and the next game is this one. If anybody knows what it is, just share with me in the link. It has a special name, and it's kind of a test for intelligence. And there is a perfect solution to it, how to solve the puzzle. And but our challenge today is not to solve the puzzle, but to create it. And I will create one, and you can just follow along. We will start with one single shape, and the shape can be anything. I choose the rectangle with the rounded corners because I like them. And I make it like this. So this is the underground. I can make it a little bit wider. And I will need the 3 poles for the game, which is also, you can either duplicate one if you already have one, or you can just create a new one. And I will create 1 pole, which is this one. And then I will create a second pole in the middle, and I will create a third pole somewhere on the outside. And if I select them all, again, Smart Align is our friend. No, they look very, very symmetric, and I will center them. You can see the blue lines, which help you to align stuff on the board. So it's perfectly aligned with the one on the bottom. And I will push it a little bit down with my arrow keys like this. And I will send the one from the background to the front, so that it looks like a board with 3 poles on it. Okay. We can change the color to anything we like. I chose the brown because it's normally it's made out of wood. So can't find the brown that quick, but let's make it red. Doesn't matter. And I can give it an outline to give it my own style. It's always up to you how you which colors you use or which shapes you use. It's up to you. And now I will group it. Grouping can happen in 2 ways, by Control G, like group on Windows, or right click. No, you don't right click. You can just use this one on the top, like ungrouping, and then group objects. Now I can move them all together without the fear of them to be separated. Okay, and the next step is I will need 1, 2, 3. Minimum, the game works with a minimum of 3 discs, which are normally also made out of wood. The more discs you have, the more complicated it is. And I think there's a limit on probably it's 6 or 7. I'm not sure what's the maximum for the game, but you can, if you want to follow along, just create 3 discs, and we will create them in the same manner. Just choose something that looks like this, and we will need 3 different colors. So I'll make the first one like this, and then Alt key and drag it to the top. If I hold the Alt key again, and I can resize it and make it smaller, so it will be smaller from both sides equally. So I don't have to worry that it's not aligned anymore. So next thing, I will do the third one, and it should look kind of a pyramid like this. Okay. If you are somebody like me, who I always already mentioned, likes stuff to be perfectly aligned, there is an alignment menu button on the top. And I choose it, I can align horizontally. You can see by the picture, this means, oh, okay, there was one was a little bit slightly off. Now they are perfectly aligned. And I can change the colors again if I want to make it a little bit more colorful. You don't have to. It doesn't change anything for the game dynamics or for the rules, but looks better in my opinion. And also, if you want, you can add, just like we did before, add some numbers to them, which would be like this one, but I will choose a round one. Make it probably white with the black outline or gray outline, and then just add numbers to them. Make it maybe a little bit smaller. This to just Alt key and drag, so you don't have to repeat the steps 3 and 4. And at the end, so that they don't get loose if they move them, I would group them. Just select them both with the mouse and then Control G, or use it from the menu. Doesn't matter, like this. Okay. And now it should look something like this. And as I'm not satisfied, again, drop seller. I will make this one a little bit bigger. These ones a little bit taller. It's smaller. Okay. And regroup them again. Okay. Let me see if. Oh, I can see people following along. Anybody guessed the name of the game? It's called Tower or Towers. I don't know. Tower of Hanoi. And I can try to explain the rules to you in English, but I don't know how much fun it is to you. The goal of the game is to transfer all 4 discs from the left pole to the right pole. So at the end, it should look like this. But by the rules, you can only move 1 disc at once, and you're not allowed to put a bigger disc on a smaller disc. So it's always a small disc on top of a big one. And if you are good at it, I think it will only take you 7 steps. And I will show you how a solution could look like, or how you play it. You just move like one here, and then the other one here, and this one here, and then this one there, and then this one there, and this one there. So you can see it's always a small one on a big one. Okay, and now I can move the big disc over here, and like this, and then like this, and like this. Okay, I didn't count how many steps it took me. Moving on to the next game that will consist of stickies, and it will consist of icons or stickers, which I will show you both where to find. It's the classic game of memory. So nothing fancy, but still can be done in Miro without using any other resources but the ones we have. What we will need for it, let me size this one down to a corner. What we will need for it is just a minimum of, I would say, let's take 16 sticky notes. You can find the sticky notes either in the menu or these ones, or you can just press N like notes and just click somewhere and you will see your first sticky note on the board. Should look something like this. And then again, we don't need to repeat the step like 16 times, but what we can do is hold the Alt key and then use the arrows. Arrow to the right, to the right, to the right, down, to the right, to the right, to the right, down, to the left, to the left, to the left. So if you hold the Alt key and press the arrow in any direction, it will duplicate the sticky note, which makes it a little bit easier. And as you can see, they are in a perfect grid, so there's nothing you need to adjust. I think sticky notes are the most basic element in Miro you can use. And now we need some pictures to put on them. Of course, there are ways you can upload a picture into Miro if you like and use it, but I will show you how to use just the resources we have, and I will use stickers. You can, probably your menu looks different than mine, but you can click on more apps and search for stickers and emojis. This one. And if I open it, you can see there are stickers, which are quite new, just a few months since they have been added. And then we will need 8 different images. It doesn't matter which ones you choose. I like the ones with the cats. There are somewhere. Let me see. I like these ones. And I will just drag and drop 8 different cats on my sticky notes. 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Just line them a little bit in the middle. Okay. Probably this is easier. No, I just deleted the ones on the bottom because this is easier. Just select everything and then Alt key and Alt key and down. And now I have duplicates. Okay. Next thing we will do is we will just group the sticky note with the image on the front, in this case with the sticker. And it's again just select it and Control G, which is the easiest way, or use the menu if you like to work with the mouse. Just repeat the step for each one. This. Okay. This didn't work. Now you can see they stick together. It's always one sticky note and an image. And now there are different ways to do it. I will show you an app which you can use. It's not an app outside of Miro. It's a Miro app. You can just install on your board. It's probably don't work for you to install it on this board because you are not the owners, but I will still show it to you, and you can try it again later on your own board if you want to recreate something like this. And I will show you a workaround you can use without using an app. You can just use there is one called Card Flip. So just search for Flip, and then either it's installed or you have to install it. In my case, because I created one before, it's already there. It's this one. And now, if I select a group of 2 just by clicking on it and press on the button, you will see it kind of flips. It puts the cat to the background, or it puts the sticky note to the background. I hope you can see it on my screen. And I will repeat the same steps for the other cats. Like this. And like this. The other thing is you can also just double click on a group. So if I double click on it, it will only select the image in the middle in this case, and I will press page down on my keyboard, or send to back, this one in the context menu. Send to back. It shows on Mac. It will show you which keys, which short key it is. To me, it's page down, like this. Okay. I'll send them to the back. No, if you want to, of course, it doesn't make any sense because we know where everything is. We can just manually and wildly shuffle the stuff. Put them on a pile like this. Okay, and now again, very useful to use Smart Align, so that I get my grid of 4x4 back. Here we go. And now I could just play with myself and try if I can find 2 matching cats. See, didn't work. And I can either, if I didn't hit the right ones, I can either just use the app to send them back, or, which is easier for me, is just Control Z to undo. If I reveal 2 and they are not matching, just undo the last 2 steps and they will go back to the background again. Very easy to create. And if you like memory, you can, of course, create a grid as large as you want. So if you don't want to use, or sometimes you cannot use any apps, if you're on a corporate account where you are not allowed to install stuff in Miro, I would just select everything again, or make it from the beginning, select everything and ungroup it, so that now we have the cats and the sticky nose loose. And I will just use the send to back button, just as I showed you before, page down or right click and page down. Page up, of course, is sending something back to the front. And I will just do something like this and this. Okay, no luck. Again.
Said,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Brandon asked what name of the app was, and Frank already answered that it was Card Flip. So
yeah, it's
thanks, Frank.
Or is it Flipkart? I'm not sure. No, it's Card Flip. Yeah.
Card Flip. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Very, very basic. And the good thing about it, okay, I show it in a playful way, but you can also use this, just put two stickies together, sticky notes, for, I don't know, create a quiz, or for any serious use case. It's up to you what you want to use it for, but you can hide one sticky note in front of the other and then reveal them by just flipping them around. If you have, I don't know, in retrospective or in any other meeting where you think this could be useful, just use it. It's not exclusively for games like this, but of course, this is more fun than having retrospectives. I hope nobody thinks differently. Okay, and that's, again, it's the whole game. The explaining took longer than the creation, literally less than 5 minutes, and you can create a little game and have some nice game mechanics just by using page down, page up, or using the app, which is very useful. Let me zoom out and see if, okay, I can see some. This is great. Okay, I think you get the point. Okay, no rocket science yet, but we will come to rocket science as we are, I think, nearly 40 minutes in. Then moving on with the last trick, and as I said, I will create Ludo, and I will start with a square shape. This one isn't square, but I need a perfectly square shape. So how do I do it? My trick is I make it as small as possible, like this. So it's 8 by 8. And then hold the shift key and make it bigger again. Now you can see at the bottom that it's perfect 88 by 88 pixels. If you don't see the dimensions on your side, it's in the menu. It's here, and then preferences, and then you can object dimensions. So it will always show how big an object is, if you like pixel perfect work. Now we have the first shape, and I will duplicate it to the right. As in the other games, just hold the Alt key and then drag it to the right, and I will put it back to the left so that it's perfectly aligned with this one, so with no space in between. And I will do it a third time, like this. Now we have the first 3 squares, and now I select them all, and I will do the same to the bottom, like this. Now we have 2. Now we have 6. I know it's very fast, but we will finish, and I'm always repeating the same steps. Okay, now we have duplicated the whole thing by 12, and I put it to the middle. As you can see now, it's perfectly aligned in the middle. You can see the blue lines. Okay, the next thing is I will take another one, put it to the right, hold the shift key again. The shift key is helps you to keep the aspect ratio of the shape, so it won't make it a rectangle. It will stay a square. It doesn't matter what I do, so as long as I hold the shift key. And now I have this part. I will take another one to the middle somewhere, and if I hold Alt and Shift, you can see I can resize it from the middle. So on the Windows, it's Alt, Shift, and then drag something, and now I can resize it from the middle. It will still stay a square. Okay, but I don't want a square. I want something with rounded corners. Oh no, let's make a circle, just like last week. So like this, and I will make the thickness of the border a little bit picker. It's still gray and white, but we will change the colors in a minute. Okay, and the last thing, just another time grabbing one of my always created shapes, and I make it 3 shapes wide and 1 shape in height. You can see it automatically aligns with the rest, 88, as you can see by the numbers showing up. And this one should be a triangle. It's always the wrong way around, but I can rotate stuff by grabbing it by the circle. Okay. Some elements are missing. If you look on our pre-made design, some stuff is missing, but we will add it. So we will need a triangle, which shows us the direction. Create this one and make it a triangle, and make it probably a little bit smaller, like this. Not perfect, but it doesn't matter for the demonstration. And then we need 4 shapes again. Oops, I said 4, but I only grabbed 3. And I put them here. And I make them round by just using the menu at the top and then switch type and make them round like this, or any other shape. It doesn't matter. It's up to you, but I use the round ones. Okay. I think I forgot this circle. So
Said, Sam is asking if it should be able to do Control C my shape and then Control V.
Yeah, you can Control C and Control V somewhere.
Yeah.
Just select them, and I don't know what color this is. Is it pink? I'm not sure. Berry.
I'm not sure. Yeah, some sort of berry, perhaps. Dark magenta, Tim says. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, magenta makes sense. Yeah. Okay. And the last one is holding the Shift key, selecting all the ones I want to color, like this. Oh, we have some time left, so we'll at least finish this one. And which color do I need? I need something yellowish. Okay. I forgot the triangles, which should also be in the same color as the player, like this. And this one should be green, of course. But if you select it from the beginning, you don't have to click around like I'm doing right now. Okay. And blue. Great. We can leave it as it is, or we can make the triangles a little bit bigger so that they touch each other, and like on the real board. I will show it on one square or on one shape. I will change the outline. I will make it a little bit gray or light gray. No, I will make it the same color as the background, and I will reduce the opacity, so like 50%. So now we have some shades. We have some shades, and you can repeat the same for the others if you want. If you don't want, just come up with your own version of it. It's just a suggestion on how to do it. So this one would be then orange, and so you can add some slight effects to it, like this.
Create a grid of objects.
No, it's not, but I want to destroy my... Normally, it's always the same distance. So if I do it like this, it's always the same distance, but you can not modify it. I don't know how much it is, but what I do, it's the same I did for creating all these frames. They all have a distance of 32 pixels. How do I did it? I had more time probably, but I just created a shape. I made a square shape. So like, and make it like 64 by 64. So I have something to put in between, so I know it's always 64 by 64. It depends on your project if it takes too long to create, but now I can just snap it there and then snap it there again like this. No, it's always the same. But it's only a workaround. There is no feature in Miro itself. But if it depends for you, or it's important for you to have them all with the same distance of, I don't know, 50 by 50, for example. This would be something, and then just delete the ones you don't need, and you don't have to create so much, because also like you can see the blue lines. It also aligns to objects that are in the distance. So this one aligns to this and this. As you can see, it aligns to these with the dotted lines and there. And now you can see it's perfectly aligned with the same distance as these and this. I don't know if this helps, but sorry, there is no out of the box.
Michael says that helps. And Eric is asking if you're pressing something to show dimensions, it randomly shows for him sometimes.
It randomly shows. What do you mean by random? So
I'm not sure. Maybe
Eric, you can unmute yourself if you want,
exactly.
so I can give you an answer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. So like when I click on a sticky note, for example, and try dragging the corners, it will sometimes show, like you showed how you did that 8x8, for example. Like you quickly went to 8x8. Like I'm not seeing that highlighted bottom on the bottom right. You see how you have that that number. How are you doing anything to get that, or are you just better than me? Or
you probably just missed it. It's if you go to
I
the
did
settings,
turn that on. Yeah, so that's the thing. I turned that on, but it's still not showing for me. So what I do see now is, like you mentioned, when I move like a sticky note and I see like 30 pixels between the sticky notes, like that, I'm seeing that, but the actual number on the object itself is not displaying. That number, that's what I want, the highlighted number you got right there. Yes, that magic. Are you pressing something?
No, I'm not pressing. Probably it's the board that's lagging. If you just reload it or try it on one of your own boards, it should show up. There's no magic. You just have to move your mouse over the blue line of an object, and then it will automatically show it.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorite features, because I'm kind of OCD and I want to know how many pixels there are.
Same. That's why I was like, I want it.
Okay. So let me see. I will zoom out a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I can. First of all, this is copied. No, this is not copied. These are creations by yourself. Great. This was on a very high pace, but if you take your time, and it doesn't have to be Ludo, you can, I don't know, create a chessboard, for example. There are chess icons in the icon finder. Just look for chess, and then it will show you all the figures in white and in black. Why? So I haven't told you why I do it. So I could also do it in any other graphics tool, because it's just creating shapes and aligning them. But the good thing for people like me, and I forgot the name of the buddy who asked the question a second ago. This is the great thing, is now if I move something, it will always perfectly align in the middle, because it aligns to the shape in the background. And if you only have an image of something, it doesn't do so. So as you can see, it just like a magnet. And this is also something you have to turn on the preferences, and then somewhere there is, I think it's align objects, or is there something that's called snap objects? I'm not sure, but you can turn it on and off. But my point is, it's always in the middle, like this, especially if the one on the foreground and the one in the background have the same size. Very satisfying to people like me.
It is very satisfying.
And the same applies to the other games. You can see it's always in the middle. So I don't have to bother about stuff not being correctly aligned. Okay. So I will not add any more detail just for the sake of time, but I think you get the point. The most of stuff I did today was creating a shape, duplicating it, coloring it, and aligning it. That's it. It's just probably 4 steps, and repeating them, and the rest is up to your own fantasy and your own creativity. There are other games I would probably not be able to show today, but I created stuff like Scrabble, which is actually playable, or Monopoly only by using resources of Miro, because to me it's a challenge. I learn a lot about how to use Miro, how to align things, how to work with shapes. As I said, I could also do it in any other program, but I want to use it in Miro because Miro is my tool of choice. Victor has a question.
Sorry, I pressed on it accidentally, actually. I wanted to read out Victor's question, and then Victor has volunteered to ask it, so that's great.
Victor, you're live on air.
Awesome, thank you. My question, I have two questions. One of them, when I build games in Miro, I would love to automatize how people can count their points. So if I can have something like an Excel, that would be awesome. Do you have an advice for that?
No, not really. I also wish there would be some kind of a scoreboard. I don't want to say anything that's stupid. I know there are integrations for what are they called? Google Sheets. I think there's also one for Excel, so you can integrate tables. But I'm not sure if this helps to solve the problem. My way would just be everybody counts his. We trust each other. Everybody counts his own points, and everybody gets, like, I don't know, something like a shape with his name, and where he or she can just add their points after each round. But there is no automation at the moment. Or let me know if anybody has any great idea how to solve it. But I do it manually. It's part of the game. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. And the other question is that I like to prototype in Miro. It's super fast. What I'm struggling with is to create the same sized objects. So for example, if I prototype playing cards, then how can I set that, okay, every one of my playing cards are 12 centimeters, and there's only one frame, which is A4, which is the only sized frame, which I can use as a reference proxy. I wonder that, for example, what would you recommend to prototype specific sized objects in Miro for printing?
For printing, it doesn't work in centimeters, unfortunately. So the only thing is, as I showed before, you can of course just size an object, look at the dimensions, and now you have then you have the, I don't know if this is a card, and then you have it as a reference, and the next step is just duplicating it and adding other content to it. That would be a way how I would use it. The other thing is, if you have a reference as an image, if you have something that's already an image, just add the image on the Miro board, and then let me see. Give me just a second. I will look if I have some kind of an image somewhere. I just so this would be a card, and then I can take a shape, add it to the corner, and then you see it snaps in, and now it's the same size as my reference, and I could use this as a cookie cutter, for example. But these are the only ways I could tell you at the moment. Otherwise, I don't know if it helps actually.
I like the cookie cutter idea. Thank you very much for that.
Oh, great. Last, we are. If you have to leave, please do so. I'm so sorry, but I would just add maybe two more things, and Helena would add one thing. The last thing, because you reminded me, adding images to Miro, there's another way you could export an image. One of my favorite features is copy as image. Select something and then copy it as image, Control-Shift-C on Windows. On Mac, it's something different, I think. But you can also see it here. And now I copy it as an image, and if I paste it here, you can see this is a PNG. It's not shapes anymore, so I cannot manipulate it. Everything that I copied is now in PNG, and I can download it. You can see here, I can download it. Now I have my game board that I just created in Miro, and I can export it, use it somewhere else, post it, share it, whatever I want to do with it. It's one of my favorite features, because after you are done, you probably want to save the outcome as an image.
Michael's asking if you could show again how you turned it into a PNG.
Just,
I guess that was very
just in
fast.
the menu. Just in the menu. Select something. I will only select half of the board for this time, and then go to the menu and copy as image. This point. Control-Shift-C on Windows. Copy as image, and now it's copied. And now if I paste it, Control-V, and see everything I selected is now a PNG, which I can do something with it. Okay.
Can
Great.
it be exported from clipboard as well?
Yeah, I think it is. Let me see if I can paste it in the chat. Yeah, there it is. So I just pasted from my clipboard into the chat. So it's there. You can just copy it as an image and paste it in any other tool you like to work further with it, if you like. So.
Yeah, indeed. I do that all the time. It's very, very handy.
Yeah, but I have 10 more minutes. So for anybody who wants to stay and just chat with me, you can unmute yourself or have any further questions or other remarks or things, please, please do so. I'm here for at least 10 more minutes, if you can spare the time. To everybody else, see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
I think there was a nice question regarding which game are you playing in Miro when you have new team members.
I just saw it. I wanted to answer, but it was which game you would start with, probably, if you are new. It depends if you want to, if it's about creation or about playing. There's two different things. To me, the most fun part is not the playing the games, to be honest. I like to create stuff because it's more fun than playing it, actually. If you want to start with something simple, just to learn how to do it and to see if it's something you would follow and create more of, why not starting with something very simple that's like chess or what's the simple version of chess? I forgot the name. Checkers, for example. It's just squares, white and brown or black squares, and then duplicate them by 8 by 8, 64 times. You can find all the icons in the icon finder or go on any website. There are these icon websites. I don't want to call out any names, and choose some from there and create your own game figures. It doesn't need any dice. It doesn't. Everybody knows the rules. So if you're playing against a chess player, of course, you should know the rules. It's easy to create and easy to play, and always nice to have in a lunch break. You can also play something like this. We live in a very remote and hybrid and global world. You can play something like this asynchronous. So I do my move in chess, and then I wait until you wake up in Australia and you do your move, and then we play for like in the 80s where you played chess by letter. Or what was it? I'm too young for this. Yeah, and also things like I showed, like Ludo is a very simple game. I think there's a version of it in every country. I only show the basic things or the easy things. If it takes me 5 minutes to create, it probably take you 10 minutes. If you are really new to Miro, you learn 3 or 4 new things about how to use Miro. So that would be my suggestion. Just start with very, very simple things. Otherwise, no limit. Everything this can be played with a dice and a game board, and cards and game pieces can be recreated somehow in Miro.
Cool.
Sorry, when you mentioned the dice, is there a dice app?
Yeah.
Something? Okay.
Yeah, there is one. If you open the apps, I can try to reshare my board if I didn't close it. If you open the, let me see. This one. Oops. Which one? No, this one is it. Okay. If you can see my screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and if you look for, I didn't mention it. Sorry, I'm so. I was in the flow. I forgot the most.
We're still here.
Yeah, some of you. Okay, there is something
I
called.
I mentioned it in the comment.
Okay, see, I forgot the most crucial part for playing a board game. Yeah, there is a dice app, this one. And if you click, you have to install it first, of course, on your board. And if I click on it, I can choose up to 10 sides. No, up to 30 sides, or customize them, and up to 6 different dice. And if I only choose like one dice with 6 sides, they will also have a little graphic. And the cool thing is I can do something like this. They have a little animation, and now you can see it's there. There they are. And when I'm done, I remove the dice, and then next player, please. And but there is a workaround for everything. If you can't use the dice app, sometimes there are restrictions for what you can install on the board. What I also do is, which is probably also a little bit fun, there is something called a dice app on iPhone and on Android. Just search for free dice apps on the marketplace, and then if I shake my phone, it shows a number, and I can hold my phone into the camera, for example, which is also a nice thing. It adds something to the game. It's not only on Miro. You can also use other things. Yeah. Or physical. You have a physical dice, and then show your hand to the camera, something like that. If you trust each other. If not, you probably should use the one on the Miro board if there's no trust in your team. Great. Any more questions or remarks or anything you want me to show again, repeat, further questions? I'm still here.
Are you going to do more sessions, Said?
I hope so. Please, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I will share all my upcoming events multiple times. This was just, it's only 1 hour, and I have to really speed up because there are 1,000 different things in my brain I want to show you all at once. But I will also do some workshops in the future, like 90 minutes, 2 hours, where we can really create something together step by step in a lower pace. This is more, or today was more of a demonstration. I know not everybody could follow up because we have new users of Miro, or not everybody has my speed or doesn't get anything I do. So yeah, there will be more in the future. Hopefully there will be a little bit longer, so people can create more things or different games. Yeah.
Cool, great. Well, thanks for your time. It was really interesting. Thanks, Said, and thanks, Helena, and hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, William.
You
See
too.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for joining.
Thanks.
Maggie's asking, do you know any MP game? I'm not sure what MP means.
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer, sorry.
I hope so.
Multiplayer games for Miro for 6 players and more.
I would need to look something. I'm not out of my head, but as I said before, if there is normally it's board games, so it should be kind of a board game. But if there is a board game that you can play with 6 or more players, then you should be able to also recreate it in Miro. If it's a board game that has more than, like, is Monopoly more than 4 players? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, actually.
I like to create them, but I don't play them that often, to be honest. I tried to look up. I created I don't know the name. I like a Ludo version for 6 players, which has 6 sides, which could be played for. You can also make it 8 sides. I will try to find it in the next 90 seconds and at least give you. There it is. Let's give you an idea of what it could look like. So let me copy and paste it somewhere. I hope there's enough space. You see it? So this is the same game principle as before, but the board has 6 sides, so you can play it with 6 players. And if I can make it also for 8 players or 12 players, if you have enough space. Same principle, but looks a little bit different. Do you have any game in mind that is would be 6? But I'm really. This probably sounds kind of weird, but I am not a board game player at all. I like to create the stuff. It's really about creating. It's not about playing it. I even have some games I never played before. I just create them, then put them in the drawer. It's just the exercise of creating something that actually works at the end of the day.
I think the next thing that we have to do is, Saeed, when you create a new game, you invite us to play with you so we can experience your creation, so we can enjoy the work that makes you so happy.
I sure, yeah, I think I need a focus group to test like once in a week when I'm done with something. Actually, Dog is a game for 6 people similar to Ludo. I have to look it up, or probably if I just Google Dog or Dog the game, probably I will see what you're talking about, and maybe it's a challenge for me to just create one. Yeah, great. Yeah, then. Thanks a lot for everybody who still stayed to chat with me and with Helena. I hope you all enjoyed today's session, and see you somewhere or see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Saeed. And thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, we'll hopefully see you again soon. Have a great evening, everyone, or wherever you are, whatever time of day it is. Enjoy that.